Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a Friday. I am Beverly Lucas, and I am here today to present to you for the Love of Cooking Fridays. I said that I was going to try to be consistent in bringing you meals and doing videos, and so here we go. So today is Friday, January 14th. So we are still in the middle of the Daniel fast. So I thought I would prepare a meal that is consistent with that fast, and it's a soup. So I'm going to be actually cooking today. So today we're going to be making something that is quick and easy for the mother who doesn't have a lot of time but wants something nutritious for their children, for the partner who wants to impress a date, for the grandparent who wants to spend quality time in the kitchen with their grandchildren. This is a meal that you can make together. So I've been making this for a long time, and it is cream of broccoli soup, but it has not always been cream for me. So I only discovered half and half about 10 years ago. Half and half and heavy whipped cream. So this is heavy whipped cream. So the way that I'm about to show you how to make this is how I used to make it for my children when they were little. So I went to the store. I was looking for some fresh broccoli, and I don't know if you've been to the store lately, but produce is low. I went to 2 grocery stores, no fresh broccoli, but I was like, no problem, because I never used to make it like that. I always use frozen broccoli. So first ingredient, frozen broccoli. We have some carrots. We have a stick of butter, and it's not Land O'Lakes like my mother would use, but this is all they had, so this is what I had to use. We have some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some chicken stock. And along with the chicken stock, I have my favorite item, my secret ingredient to a lot of my recipes is a bouillon cube. And instead of using an onion today, we're going to use a shallot because it's a little less, the taste is a little bit more mellow. So as I'm in the kitchen and I am listening to Al Green, because Al Green brings happy memories for me, watching my mother in the kitchen, whether she was cooking or she was cleaning. Let me tell you, I know about some Al Green. I know every word to every song on most of his albums. So come on with me and let's get started. So I've diced my carrot. I cut through the middle first. And you'll know that, or you'll get to know that I really love onions. Okay. So we have that all diced up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire stick of butter and I'm going to put it in my saucepan. So I have the butter melting. I have the other ingredients here that we're going to open. Our chicken stock. And also what I have is I have a 1/4 cup of flour. So this is going to help thicken. So before I discovered what heavy cream could do, I would make just a roux with butter and flour. And a roux is just a thickening agent for any type of soup that you are trying to make. So we're going to let this melt, and then we're going to saute the carrots and the onions until they are soft. So while we're waiting for the butter to melt, I am going to go ahead and cut the bag of the broccoli. This is chopped broccoli. You can use broccoli spears. I really like my soup thick. I don't like it, I like it creamy, but I like thick chunks of broccoli. And let me tell you the funny story about broccoli and my family. So my children, when they were growing up, they all had different things that they liked. One liked broccoli, one didn't like broccoli. I had one who didn't want her food to touch. I had one, whenever I made chicken wings, she didn't like sauce on her chicken wings. So I'd have to fry the chicken wings and then put some aside for her. So what is my point? Children are so interesting in how they like what they like. And because when I was little, we had to eat whatever was put in front of us, I didn't want to do that to my children. So yes, I fed into the notion that one didn't like broccoli and one didn't like this and one didn't like that. And I always had to remember every time I was cooking, you know, only for 20 years later for my son to tell me, we always like broccoli. We were just doing that to you. Really? Thank you for letting me know. What else did y'all do to me? So now, when I make broccoli soup or anything, I mean, they eat it all. And they all have requests about food that they really like. And now I know them, but that one daughter who doesn't like her food to touch, she still doesn't like her food to touch. This is like since she's been 2 years old. But, you know, we do what we have to do because we love what we do when we're in the kitchen. And the kids love when we are loving what we do to prepare for them. Remember that. There's nothing wrong with being in love with someone. Yeah. What you know about that? This is the sauteing. Okay, once it gets to this point, we're gonna add the flour. And we're gonna cook it out for about a minute. And the flour is used as a thickening agent, but you have to let it cook out. It smells so good. It's layers and layers of flavor, and that's what we try to do. That's why we don't put everything in the pot at once. Now we are going to put in the chicken broth. So this is about 2 cups of chicken broth. I mean, you can make it homemade, but I don't think it matters who makes it. And we're gonna let that simmer for a minute. And also in there, I'm gonna add my bouillon cube. One thing that is important when you're cooking something like this, before you add the main ingredients, it's very important that you taste the broth. Taste it to see, does it need some more pepper? Does it need some onion powder? What does it need? But you want to make sure that the broth tastes good before you put the broccoli in. Because if it doesn't taste good before you put it in, it's not going to taste good once you put the broccoli in. So I've tasted it, and I have to implement my mother's secret to everything. Just a little bit of sugar. Just a little bit, just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. I think that's what it needs. And from adding the flour, you can see that it's thickened up a little bit. Let me show you. You can see here that is nice and it's thick. So we're gonna taste it one more time. Clean spoon. Just a tad bit. That's it right there. And now I have my broccoli. Again, it's frozen, it's chopped. It's okay. We're gonna pour the whole bag in. And because it was frozen, it's also going to add a little bit of water, or a little bit of moisture, I should say. And it looks fantastic. So now I'm gonna let it simmer for about, it doesn't take long, about 5 minutes. So this is how it's looking now. It's nice and chunky. Okay, so the broccoli is cooked, and this is when we have choices. I can leave it like this, and I can serve it like this, or I can mash it, because the broccoli is real soft, so I can mash it so that it's more smooth. But I really like mine's chunky like that. Is I'm gonna turn off the heat, and I have about a half a cup of the cream. I'm gonna put that in there now. I'm gonna give it a silky smooth taste, but it's still chunky because that's how I like it. And here's the other option, cheddar cheese. So this is only a little cheddar cheese. When I used to make this, I didn't use cheese at all. I would just sprinkle cheese on the top. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and mix this in. And it's not a lot. It's maybe like 3/4 of a cup. And because it's not a lot, I can put it all in at one time and just let it melt. Oh, this smells so good. I already know what it tastes like. I've been making this a long time. We're gonna taste it right now. Ooh, ooh. I love broccoli. Let's see. This is going to be so good for my lunch one today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Again, my name is Beverly Lucas, and today is For the Love of Cooking Fridays. Join me next Friday for another recipe.